first of all, let me say the terrible stuff, okay? IQ differences housed in genes have to have been real. There is no question about this, okay? We know that because in order for human intelligence to have grown the way it clearly did, there have to have been differences between populations, and smarter populations have to have won out against less smart populations. So I am not arguing that you cannot have a genetic difference in IQ between populations. What I am arguing is that what we see presently does not add up in that way. And so it could be genetic. We could have a terrible answer. And frankly, if it's that answer, I don't know what we do about it. Right? It's a catastrophic failure if that's what we've got. But that's not what I expect we will find if we approach this courageously. So I do think we need to have Charles Murray's courage at looking at this, but I think he's wrong, right? I think he's arrived at the wrong conclusion because he's got half an analysis and it seems to point in a direction. So I hate to use this example because it's so frivolous, but did you ever have a children's book called The Monster at the End of This Book?
Not that I remember.
It's a Sesame Street book where Grover is told that there's a monster at the end of the book, and he spends the entire book trying to get you not to turn the pages because of the terrifying thing that will happen if you get to the monster at the end of the book. And then you get to the monster at the end of the book, and it's him, and it's not very frightening, right? I have the sense that we are having that conversation, that there is a thing that people intuit and often do not say that causes, or if I can put this another way, some of the people that you're describing who end up in this conversation do believe in racial differences in IQ. I think they have it wrong, but it's not motivated out of racism. It's just a failure of analysis. And so partly what we need to do is exercise the demon. We have to confront what might be there in order to discover what isn't there. So what else to say? So we're really having a battle over how much of human intelligence is housed in the software layer and how likely it is that differences in the capacity of one brain or another to upload top-level software are resident in the genome. But I will say the genome is not in a great position to adjust the details of what a mind has in it. If we take the mind to be what the brain produces, right? The mind is what the brain does. The mind is the product of the software. And what isn't demonstrated is the inability of a child, human child from any population, to upload top-level software given the right environmental circumstances to pass it on. Those limits are not there. So what I think is really happening is I think people, the honest, honorable people who do not want there to be genome-based differences in cognitive capacity between populations, who nonetheless suspect that they might be there, those people I think are looking at the athletic landscape, and they are imagining that there must be a direct analogy. And any fool can see that different sports favor different populations, right? It is not a racial bias that has put Ethiopians and Kenyans at the head of long-distance running, right? It's a population-level difference. And so I think people look at that, and even good folks look at it and they think, well, what are the chances that that's not manifest in cognitive capacity? The chances are very good that it's not manifest in cognitive capacity. It's a false analogy, but people don't know why. They haven't had enough exposure to good evolutionary thinking. They haven't considered the difference between a physical set of parameters and cognition. And until you have those tools, you know, you will leap to the wrong conclusion. And so I think at some level, society is just simply doing that. And at anybody who attempts to confront the puzzle and say, look, actually, let's just be brave and look at what's really likely, is shut down as if they are attempting to push us towards a racist answer. And, you know, the monster at the end of the book is Grover, I suspect. And I think we should get there.